Here on Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. We turn now to the story of Zarsanay Ermias Tesfatsion, who took his own life at Cairo International Airport earlier this month after being deported from the United States. He was 34 years old. Zarsanay was detained in the United States for more than a year after fleeing his home country of Eritrea, seeking asylum here in the U.S. He spent more than a year in immigration detention, first in South Florida, then in Ohio, before being deported this month. Zarsanay was in transit back to Eritrea when he died by suicide at Cairo Airport more than 2 weeks ago, but his family has yet to locate his body. Friends and family are demanding to know why he was deported to Eritrea despite his fears he would be tortured, even killed if he returned home. On Tuesday, I spoke to Zarsanay's friend, Barakat Sabatu. Barakat met Zarsanay as a volunteer translator at the Broward Transitional Center, an immigrant detention center in South Florida where Zarsanay was jailed. Barakat was not alerted when Zarsanay was transferred to Ohio a few months ago, nor was he told his friend was going to be deported. Here is Barakat speaking Tuesday about his friend, Zarsanay Ermias Tesfatsion.
Zarsanay, he had a hope. And he was very nice guy. He becomes a friend right away like you. And then he even helped his friends. They were there with him at detention. He always give them encourage. He told them, oh, one day it's going to be over. We're going to be okay. We are in the right country. We have a peace right now, peace of mind. We just wait for the date to come out from here. And then one day we'll get together, and then we're going to talk about this, what happened in the story. That's why he had a dream.
Did he tell you what he most feared if he were deported to Eritrea?
What he said in his testimony is, he said if they ask him, the lawyers, what would happen if he go back to Eritrea, he said, I might go jail or tortured, might be even get killed.
Do you believe that the U.S. deporting Zarsanay was a death sentence for him?
That's what I believe, because if they know Eritrea is not the right place right now, he cannot deport to Eritrea, why Zarsanay has to get deported? For that situation, he ended up killing himself.
How does it make you feel, Barakat?
I feel very sad. And at the same time, is the family want to find out how could happen, how could hang himself in the Cairo airport. The loved ones, they want to find out how would happen, kill himself, who gave him to hang in the bathroom. At the same time, I just talked to yesterday one of his cousins, why his remain body is still in Cairo. Mommy is waiting every single day in the airport.
In the airport where?
In the airport of Eritrea and Asmara to get his remain body.
That was Barakat Sabatu speaking about his friend, Zarsanay Ermias Tesfatsion, who took his own life at Cairo International Airport earlier this month after being deported from the United States to Eritrea. Human Rights Watch reports Eritrea is one of the, quote, world's most oppressive governments, unquote. According to a 2016 report, Eritreans are often required to serve in national military service indefinitely. Those who try to flee the country are considered traitors. The Guardian reported this week at least 3 Eritrean teenagers have died by suicide in Britain in the last 6 months. The teenagers came to Britain from the Calais migrant camp. For more, we're joined by Christine Ho, founding director of Friends of Broward Detainees, a volunteer visitation program that provides humanitarian humanitarian support for unauthorized immigrants and asylum seekers inside the Broward Transitional Center, the Immigrant Detention Center in South Florida. She visited Zersanay Ermias Tetsatzion in detention. Christine, welcome to Democracy Now! We only have a few minutes. Talk about what happened. He so clearly had real fear that he would be killed for leaving military service in Eritrea if he were returned, as so many are fearful of doing. How did he end up dead at Cairo airport?
Thank you so much. I'm very honored to be invited here today. I can only guess that he felt hopelessness and despair, which is actually quite common in immigration detention, which is not a picnic for anyone, not for children, but also for adults. It's highly stressful, which is well documented by a body of psychological research. It's and it basically, one of the reasons why detention is so takes a psychological toll is because they have no idea how long they're going to be in detention. So the suspense kills them, in a sense. In his case, I think he had high hopes of being released because I visited one of his friends in Broward Transitional Center a couple of weeks ago, and he told me he had received a letter written in Ohio by Zersanay, who mentioned in the letter that he expected to be released in a week or two. And so it must have, I mean, he must have been just struck.
Did you feel, that, Christine Ho, that this deportation was a death sentence for Zersanay?
It could very well be, in the sense that it must have filled him with such hopelessness and despair, as well as fear of what he might experience if he actually did return to his homeland.
Christine, in the last minute we have, can you talk about the psychological effects of long-term detention? You visited hundreds of detainees at the Broward County facility. Zersanay had been there for about a year.
Yes. It takes a tremendous toll. First of all, it's especially difficult for asylum seekers because the process of processing asylum claims takes a long time, months, sometimes years, and they feel, and because they have no idea how long it's going to be, it really takes a psychological toll. It's been described by others as soul-destroying. It's also a very difficult experience on a day-to-day basis, daily indignities, daily humiliations, and also pettiness. It's in addition to the medical issues that were discussed by Clara Long.
Christine Ho, we have to end the show here. I want to thank you for being with us, founding director of Friends of Broward Detainees, and we'll continue to follow this case and see if Zersanay's body is returned. We want to wish Karen Bernucci a happy birthday. Democracy Now! Is produced by a remarkable group of people. Special thanks to Renee Feltz, Mike Burke. I'm Amy Goodman. Thanks for joining us.